Hi, and welcome to the Player YouTube channel. And today we've got a fantastic car to show you. This is the Infiniti Q60S all-wheel drive. And it doesn't stop there either, because this is the red line version. That's what they call it in the States. Over here we call it the Sport Tech. It's a 400 brake horsepower V6 3-litre monster. Absolutely unbelievable car to drive. We're going to go all around it today. We're going to take a good look at it and you're going to see everything about it. And it's got a price tag of £47,000. So it's up to you at the end of this video whether you actually think it's worth it. Let's start at the front. And as you can see, massive, great grille here, beautiful. It's got forward-facing cameras just tucked in there nice and neatly that you can't see. But one of the best things about this, and I absolutely love it, and it's my own personal thing, Nissan, Infiniti, they call this the human emotion look. That's the lights. But when you look at it, doesn't it remind you of Angry Birds? It does for me. Anyway, let's take a look around and let's get inside and then we'll get it out on the road for you. Looking down the side of this car, it's got some lovely shapes. And the one thing you do notice immediately is the build quality. Every single panel is almost millimetre perfect. And I find that absolutely incredible. It's got some lovely rims on it. They're like a magnesium grey sort of colour. And the sweeping curves down the side here. I love this bit at the back where it just cuts back in and you've got this lovely big arch. So let's get round the back and I'll explain what it's got inside it. At the back of this car, the lights actually replicate the ones at the front, except these are red, obviously, and giving off an even angrier bird look. But I do like them. They're really slick. They come around it. Again, the paneling is tight. Everything is almost pinpoint on this. You've got an all-wheel drive. This is an option. I thoroughly recommend it because it does make a huge difference. Two lovely big exhausts at the back here, and the shape with the boot lid, absolutely stunning. Really starting to like this car. You're going to spend about 5-10 minutes trying to figure out how to open the boot if you haven't got the key, but I'll give you a little secret and give it away. There's a little button hidden in here within the lights, which I think is quite neat actually, and you just touch that there, finger sensitive, and then we've got 342 litres of space in the boot. Putting that into layman's terms, you can basically get two nice large suitcases in here. And there is also the back seat on this is like a big bench seat that just folds forward. I'll show you that in a minute when we get inside and I'll show you around the car. All in all, we're loving this car so far, and I really do think it's starting to match up to its price tag. The car itself is beautifully made, inside and outside, as I've already shown you. But there is a little problem here. And I'm going to get in the car and show you because it becomes more apparent when you actually sit in the car here. Nissan have very cleverly fitted this seat belt, sort of clasp grip to help you grab it, which makes life a lot easier. But when you try and get in the back, as you see now, the seat belt, it doesn't move. It's stuck there, it's static. It's a big problem, as you'll see. So to get in the back, you just lift the seat forward with the grip, and then there's a little button on the top and the seat will automatically move forward. This is all great, but look, it's still stuck there, which getting in and out becomes a real pain. As you can see, I've had to get around it. Anyway, I mean, it's one of those smaller things. I'm sure this, you know, you could probably actually take this off. There's no real reason for it. In the back, plenty of room. It's quite comfortable. They are quite large seats. I'm quite shocked at this. Two nice cup holders, but where the roof slopes down because of that lovely slant that you see outside, it does hinder you a little bit with the headroom. I'm only 5'10", which is around about 180 centimetres in metric, and my head is actually touching here. So I think generally these rear seats are designed for young children or possibly teenagers, but would you want them in the car? Not particularly. Up front in the Infiniti Q60, it is actually built beautifully for the driver. The seats are extremely comfortable, and what you'll also notice, I know a lot of these are, you know, injection molded parts, but they've run a seam along them using a sewing machine, and it's given it that sort of extra little bit of luxury feel, almost like it's been handmade. The steering wheel itself as well is not taken from another cheaper model like another Nissan or something, which a lot of marques do that. They occasionally sort of use parts from other cars and then try and put them on, sell them as luxury components. This is a bespoke steering wheel to the Q range. And on the steering wheel there is everything you need. You've got your cruise control, you've got your volume settings. You can pretty much do it all off the steering wheel, which is great. In the centre section here, we've got our 7-speed gearbox with the shift. It's fully automatic, obviously. You've got a separate bit where you pull it down and you can pull it to one side, and that puts you into the manual mode. And then Infiniti have perfectly put the 2 paddles here, so you've got paddle shift as well. The only thing is, I must say, race drivers don't like the paddle shifts on the steering wheel. They much prefer them on the column. But hey, we're not taking this out on the track and we're not about to race it, so I think they're more than adequate to be there. Looking on the centre console here, it's split quite nicely using the carbon fibre and the steel panel in here. A space for 2 cups, which is great. What was probably an ashtray at one time has your, well, nothing in there obviously, but inside there is your 12 volt. In the centre bit here, which pops up quite neatly, very, very small. You'd be lucky to get an iPhone 7 Plus in there. It's got the 2 USB ports and there's an SD card for your map updates. Apart from that, lovely central sitting position. I've got to show you all the gizmos and bits on this because it is mind-blowing. Before we do that, just to mention that each of the passenger and the driver have their own individual controls here for heating, which again is great because you don't have to start fiddling around. It is on the screen here, you'll see in a minute, but nice and easy here. You don't want to be looking down trying to figure out how to make it warmer when you're not concentrating on the road. So cameraman's going to jump in the back and then I'm going to show you all the gizmos because it is rammed to the gills with gizmos on this, and I've said gizmos twice. There are a lot of gizmos on here. So let's cut to there and then we'll show you what it can do. So as you would expect, it comes with keyless ignition, and you all know how that works. So you put your foot on the brake and then we just push the start stop button. Immediately you'll notice there are 2 screens here. One is for the map and it's going to ask me to press OK because I accept the terms and conditions and I'm not driving along at 90 miles an hour whilst I'm trying to start the thing up. So we'll push that there. There we go. And that will come up. There's another screen here between the tachometer and the speedo, which again is giving me driving aids and mileage readout, and that can be adjusted via the steering wheel here as well. Similar to the individual heating systems that we spoke about that I really like, it also has an individual entertainment system here with a very standard volume button, and then you've got the seek and change radio station, you can change media. That's all great. You've got the front heated seats there, which are very simply on and off. That's simple to use. But you can adjust absolutely everything on this lower screen here. So for example, if you want climate will come up. You can adjust it all here. You can put your seats on high, just put them on auto. It all works really nicely. Going from climate, we go back to the main menu, but things start to get a little bit confusing from here onwards. So you've got your settings, which is great. You can put in the destination, which involves the map, obviously. Once we get past that, I mean, it just starts to become, I mean, email, for God's sake. I've got, you know, why do I want a compass? Clock, yeah, fine. I mean, I understand that, but, you know, these are apps that are really a calendar. I mean, come on. This is where it gets even more fun. As much as I love it, you know, fuel consumption, fuel flow, all cool. We like that. And then we go into the next section, and as you can see, 19.2 to the gallon. I really haven't been pushing this car at all. It's been in normal mode. We've done probably the best part of 200 miles, and it's showing me an average of 19.2. Not very good, unfortunately. And then the next bit here, I do love this. I mean, left and right, you move the steering wheel and the little I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm confident enough to know whether my wheels are facing left or right. What is the point? Southeast, again, another compass. Cornering. These are all things that really, to be honest, would be either off-roading or on a track. And neither of those are you going to be doing, hopefully, in a car like this. It's a luxury car. G-force meter. Come on. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be taking off and trying to pull a full vertical with this car. So, to be honest, nice little gizmos. They're fun to have and show your mates, but once you've seen them, you're never going to use them again. So, unfortunately, I think they're a little bit of a waste of time. Although, if you're into that sort of thing, great. The car itself, fantastic, nice and quiet. It's well built, as I said, loads of lovely bits of carbon here. There is a wood option available as well. The system is run on a Bose surround sound system, absolutely stunning. I'm not going to put it all on now. Links up to your phone, sounds fantastic. But above all, what we need to do now is get out on the road and hear this thing and get a feel for it and some feedback on what this fly-by-wire steering system is like, because this is not connected in any mechanical way to the steering. It's all done by computer. I'll explain that when we're driving along because it makes life a lot easier to give you a bit of feedback. So let's get out on the road and see what it goes like. Up front driving in this car is absolutely fantastic. It's fun, it's responsive, you can set the steering up, as I said previously. The feel is just superb. Everything feeds back to you. It doesn't feel like I'm driving on the fly-by-wire. It feels like a proper steering wheel. In actual fact, with the all-wheel drive as the option, it really has got a stunning amount of grip. There's a lot of brake horsepower, 400 brake V6 3-litre engine. You need something that's going to hold this thing on the road, and this really does do the job. The build quality's there, the soundproofing in the car, everything. It is really fantastic. It's just a shame that they seem to sell more in America than they do over here. However, I think with a good bit of marketing and a push from YouTubers like myself, we can get the cars out there and you guys can get out and test drive them and see for yourself that this really is, I do feel, value for money, even at £47,000. My only drawback on it is the number of gizmos, as I mentioned, and potentially the fuel economy. But apart from that, you know, this is a super car. Don't forget, guys, if you like what you're watching, please give me a big thumbs up. I love that. And if you want to see more of these, we've got a fantastic car coming next week. I can't tell you what it is because we like to keep them a surprise. But if you subscribe, you'll be notified every time we do one of these cars. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you again next week. This is Andy Jones from The Player saying bye for now.